good. You can see me, right? Well, you let me mute.
All right, how's everybody doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good.
Pretty good.
Awesome. All
Good.
right, perfect. So everybody that's on the Zoom call, this is everybody from the private Facebook group, and then I see we have some users that are viewing live on YouTube as well. Today, we are going to discuss how having a virtual staff is going to boost your surplus funds business. So I have the owner of the company that I partnered with, Hypermanage. So today we're going to discuss that. You guys are in for a treat. You're going to learn exactly how this company operates. Very professional. I've been using them. Many of my students have been using them, getting great results. And before we let him hop on and start talking, I want to let you guys know when you have we like to refer to them as remote workers. When you have them, this will assist you tremendously in this business. All right. So we know that in this business, we have to do, some tedious things like pulling leads, verifying if the lead is actually accurate, checking to see if it's been claimed or not, doing some skip tracing, importing leads into your CRM, but most importantly, contacting these leads. All right. So when you have somebody that is calling your leads for you and making that initial cold call, now you're going to have verified leads. So this is going to take the stress away from contacting all of the numbers that are incorrect, because when we do our skip tracing, we end up having at least 5 numbers for each contact. All right. So it's very important for us to be able to utilize these methods. Let's go ahead and welcome Jeff. Jeff is on the call right now. Jeff Henry.
What's up? What's up?
How's it going, man?
Going good, man.
Perfect. Let me go ahead and start my video too. I forgot I wasn't even showing my video. All right, perfect. So, man, we are on YouTube as well. Let's see how many people we have. We've got some people on YouTube and then on here. So we have about 50 people on the call right now. So that's perfect. So the floor is yours, man. I gave you a nice introduction. Like I mentioned, guys, partnered with this company. We've been having success. Those who are in the asset recovery system, we are funneling you through this company, and everything is running smooth. Clients are getting deals. Everything is converting.
Awesome. Well, that's great to hear. Yeah. So, they can see my screen if I share?
Yeah, let me go. You can go ahead and share now.
Oh, well.
All right. Awesome. Let me go ahead and share my screen here.
Also, while he's pulling that up, if you are not speaking right now, please go ahead and mute your screens. and we'll have the ability to ask questions in a little bit.
All right, can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'm just gonna open this
Yeah.
up here. All right, sweet. So I'm gonna kind of run through, guys, if you guys have any questions or anything, feel free to just chime in and ask me. I'm gonna kind of just give you a high overview of my company, Hyperservice. And we partner with people like Eric because they bring a great value, and we see the growth and success of their operation, and we wanted to be able to provide the top talented people for them. So I'm happy to be here. Thank you again, Eric, for letting me be a part of this. And let me kind of just run through. So we actually, I'll tell you a little bit about myself first. My name is Jeff Henry. I'm 9 years in real estate investing, married with 3 kids. We're based out of Tampa, Florida. We run a completely virtual team of over 450 VAs. We now have transitioned that word VAs to RPs because we believe that our talent that we provide is, by far the best. And so we call them remote professionals rather than virtual assistants. So we're changing the way that we see typical VAs are being called, and specifically the talent that we're bringing. We're operating out of 9 different countries now. So we source all around the world for top talent. In my real estate background, I've closed over 500 transactions. I'm also a CEO and founder of a company called Lead Suite. It's a software, as well as a software development company called Superworks, where we develop softwares for real estate industries. How do we get started? So we started our company back in 2016 with only one virtual assistant. She started as a cold caller. And then now in 2023, we have over 450 plus VAs spread all across the different countries. We're in Mexico. I could say we're in 3 different continents. So we're in Africa, we're in South America, we're in Asia. And what do we offer? So we don't just offer a virtual system. We give you the entire ecosystem. So we recruit, screen, test, and perform all background checks. We make sure all assistants have the right tools, system, computer, headsets, backup internets, backup routers. Some even have generators. So this is actually the first step. And just to let you know, we get 4,500 applications per month just to work for one of our companies, right? For one of our clients. So there's no short of talent, but the problem is that we can't just hire everybody, right? So we have 7 recruiters on our team that kind of go through every single checklist of the screening process, and we've got to make sure they have the right tools. So one of the right tools are listed here is making sure they have the right systems. They have to have the right computers, the right headsets. We also have to make sure that they have backup internets, backup routers. Sometimes we even want them to have, depending on their location, like if they're in the Philippines, we want them to have a generator as well, just in case they get hit with a tsunami or any natural disaster. There's different things that we can put in place where they can, continue their job, right? And another reason why we're in 9 different countries is because we have redundancies. If there's any issues that happen specifically in our management plan, when you have a cold caller that's working for you dialing on the phones and they're in the Philippines, right? If something happens to that city or that country, we can then shift to one of our other staff members that are in a different country that's not effective. That way your company you guys don't lose business, right? We continue to keep that wheel moving. So we help our clients with tools set up, making sure they have all the proven methods for maximum efficiency. Process, we basically transition and onboard your virtual assistant They go through our Academy Bay, which is a bunch of tools and technologies and education for them. We do KPI tracking and call calibrations and payroll. So with the call calibrations, every single one of our clients that have one of our VAs, what's really cool about it is that they can also schedule certain calls with them and see how well, that person is doing, because we have quality assurance that monitors these calls, and we kind of grade the calls. If we see that they're doing a cold call and they're not getting great results, then what we will do is actually grade that call and say, hey, this person has 3 back-to-back bad calls, right? We're going to let our clients know and say, hey, look, we need to switch out this cold caller and get you a new one, because this person is not performing. We tried training, we tried testing, we tried everything. So we kind of are proactive on that sense, right? Which is, I think it's needed. We're not waiting for the clients to say, hey, this person is not working out. We're on top of it. All right, so how the process works. So basically, everything, working, it's a little different when we're working with Eric. So Eric, I believe you have a process on how it goes, but just kind of overview of our process here is, you basically have a welcome, you purchase a plan, a welcome email sent out, you immediately book a discovery call with our team. We do what's called a tailored recruiting, where we learn a little bit about your business. We learn exactly what you're looking for. We're pretty much like a matchmaking when it comes to finding the right talent. Next phase after that is recruiting. We send that tailored recruit plan over to our recruiters. One of our 7 recruiters, they go out there and start recruiting. They sift through 4,500 applications. And if we can't find anything there, we go out and headhunt. We find companies like AT&T, T-Mobile, where we take talent away from them and, find them for a right home. So that's the recruiting phase. After that, we narrow those recruits down. Say we found 20 people that match your criteria. We then do another layer of selection, and we narrow that down to the top 3-5 candidates out of that batch. And those top 3-5 candidates are the ones that you're going to actually get the profiles for, to see their talent, to see how they operate. And then we move them on to an onboarding and training phase, where we onboard and train them and making sure that they have all the right tools and they're ready to get going on their day one. Other than that, that is pretty much it for the entire process.
Yes. So really quickly, guys, when we are working with Hypermanage, the way that it works is, if you have the asset recovery system, that's where I set up the full system for you guys. Your onboarding fee is going to be covered on our end. If you guys are looking to use this service, there is a onboarding cost. Jeff, if you want to go over the pricing structure for the cold callers with him.
Yep, absolutely. So the onboarding is a $500 standard onboarding fee, which is typical for any new clients. We do offer a discount on certain extent, but for the most part, it's standard $500. And for the cold callers itself, it's a $9 an hour charge. And obviously, you can find cheaper ones out there. The reason why we are top is because of our talent pool that come through our system. So that's pretty much it. It's a one-time setup fee and $9 an hour after that.
Yeah, guys. So if you're on YouTube, I went ahead and posted, it's pinned, the comment there. If you guys use my link and you sign up using the code MMJ250, you guys will actually get 50% off of that onboarding cost. So your onboarding for the caller will be cheaper. Also, the way, guys, make sure you're muted. Also, the way that the process works is, they're going to send you a list of candidates after you go through your discovery call to figure out, what type of personality are you looking for? What exactly do you want in your caller? All right. Even in your staff, if they're doing the research and things like that, being your remote professional for surplus funds, they're going to tailor it specifically to exactly what you need. And they're not just going to go out and get somebody and then you're stuck with that. They're going to give you a list of candidates, which I really love. You get their profile, you see their resume, but most importantly, you see exactly how they sound. All right, so you are going to get a video with a call example you can hear, and then based on that sound, if you like it, you can select them. I know there's a lot of you that are thinking, okay, in surplus funds, a lot of people already initially think that it is a scam. So how can, foreign cold callers present themselves and actually get deals? All right. So currently, we have over 8 clients that are using this service for the asset recovery system under me. And I have other students that are using this service as well. And they're getting on average 2 to 3 deals per week. All right. And when I say deals, this is going to be clients that are interested, ready to go. When you have your callers that are initiating that call, informing the previous owner about the foreclosure, verifying that they're the previous owner or an heir, and presenting them that they have surplus funds available, their job is to strictly get the email address or set up a notary. This makes it very smooth for you guys as a surplus funds owner to now step in and work with warm leads. All right. We're not spending time dialing all day, constantly making calls. You now have somebody doing that for you. So now imagine if day to day, you're just receiving messages on people who are interested, leads that are ready to go. And then now you just have to step in, present yourself as, the manager of your company, the director of asset recovery, explain to them the process on how it works. And then you can go ahead and either get the agreement form signed or set up the notary. So I've noticed that by having this system in place, you're going to be very efficient and close a lot of deals. I know there's a lot of you guys who are on this call right now that are making a lot of calls by yourself. You might be manually dialing on your phone all day, and that's just, very time consuming. And the fact that we can outsource this, it will definitely assist you. Jeff, also another thing that you touched on that I want to elaborate on is that these callers, they're not on their own. You're not just given a caller. You're literally given an entire team that's working with you.
So I'm gonna break that down. So that's a great point, Eric. And that's why I said you're getting an entire ecosystem, right?
Yeah.
With that caller, we created what we call remote pods, right? So our remote pods are a dedicated trainer that's training these callers, right? You have our operation manager that oversees that entire pod. You have a dedicated success coach. That success coach is going to be the person that you're going to be communicating with. If there's times that you want to give that person a bonus because they're crushing it for you, right? You're making a tons of money and they're like, I just want to give that person a bonus. If that person is going to, if your VA is not, performing, you're going to reach out to your success coach, right? We do have a quality assurance team that's listening into your calls. We have like I said, we have a trainer that's there. We even have a language coach that's on our company that teaches these callers different rapport building, sarcasm, language training on how to switch different words out. So again, you're not just getting one person, you're getting an entire team. Our billing specialist is a part of those pods as well. So if you have any billing questions, you can reach out to them as well. So again, you're getting an entire team for that basically $9 an hour.
Exactly. And the team, I love the way that they work. Every day we're getting reports. So for starters, before they even make calls, guys, they're doing a Wi-Fi test to make sure that their Wi-Fi is performing at a speed so that there's no interruptions. All right.
Yeah. Let me touch on that. That's a great. Yeah. So they're going to do what's called start a day, end a day, and then you get 2 interval reports throughout the day, right? So your start a day report is going to basically say, before they even start the day, they're going to do a ping test, right? A ping test is basically a test, a command prompt that's pinged right to a website to make sure that your connection is going through pretty fast, right? The next test they're going to do is a speed test, right? To make sure that their internet and the router is performing. If they're not going to get the right megabytes per second, what we tell them to do, they have to power cycle. They have to power cycle their internet, unplug their router, unplug their internet connection, restart the computer, and boot that back up. It should perform better. So these are things that they're doing before they even start dialing. And the reason why we want to make sure the ping test and everything are pretty high, because you can get abandoned calls from that, right? So remember, they're on a dialer dialing these calls. And we want to make sure that the speed is right before they even start dialing. So you guys don't waste money on spending, wasting leads, right? We want to maximize every lead possible. So these little things that we do, not only that, we monitor their breaks and lunches, making sure that they're doing the right thing. The average wrap-up time needs to be below 19 seconds. The reason why we have, let me tell you what a wrap-up time is. That is a time that they are getting off the phone and making notes to jump back on another phone call, right? Majority of companies out there don't pay attention to these things, right? And they'll say, hey man, my caller's only doing about 150 calls, or maybe 30 calls a day. We're doing 350 to 450. And the reason why is because we have a low average wrap-up time, right? And so these are little things that, even if you're not going with us, these are things that you should implement in your business today to change up the way you guys are doing your leads. Okay, so again, you're getting a start of day report to tell you exactly your shift time, what we're doing, how many calls, what's my goals. Did I do a pain test? Did I do a speed test? Right. The next report you're going to get throughout the day is going to be how well you're performing, right? Your success coach is going to send you, hey, your cold caller did 200 calls. Out of there, 10 of those calls were do not calls or wrong numbers, whatever. And here's a list of good calls or good connects, right? So they have a disposition report that they're going to send you based on those results. You're going to get that throughout the day, right? And then the final report is the end of day report, right? That end of day report is to tell you exactly how well your cold caller did for that day, how many calls they hit, how many calls turned into an actual lead or deal, right? And whatnot. So we're not just answering these phones, right? We're giving you tons of reporting to back those numbers up.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I like that separates you guys from just hiring somebody on like Fiverr or Upwork is that they actually go through the surplus funds curriculum. All right. So you guys can easily go. I just saw somebody said, these are foreigners, not to be cheap, but why $9 an hour? Jeff, you can go on that.
Yeah.
For
Yeah,
starters,
let me break that down, right? And I run several 7-figure companies on 450 foreigners, right? I could tell you that we try to hire US based people. One, a lot of them felt entitled, a lot of them didn't want to work. These foreigners that you're saying are hard worker, they're loyal, they're dedicated to grow your business. And what makes them different from Fiverr, all these Upwork companies, those are freelancers. Freelancers are people that want to work for your company, but working for 10 other companies at the same time. They don't really care about the growth and success of your business. This is your dedicated employee that's working for your company, that you're paying us as a service, but they're working for your company, right? They're not working for anybody else. They're working for specifically your company and your growth, your success. And so what makes it a big difference, you got to think about, it's not about the $9. It's about the investment that you're going to get in return, right? You're getting your time back, right? Where you can focus on revenue generating activities. You don't have to sit there and dial all these calls. You can focus on closing the deals, which is more important, right? I could tell you guys that I consider myself a remotepreneur, right? I travel around the world. I literally can carry my phone wherever I go on my computer and money comes in, right? My team operates at a full high energy. And if I had them on the call right here, you guys would be blown away
blown
about
away. Sure.
how great they speak English and
Yes.
how smart they are, right? This presentation that you see here, they did this in probably about 30 minutes before this call. I was like, hey guys, I need a presentation really quick. They put this together, right? And this is because I value my time. I was focused on taking my daughter school shopping while my team put this presentation together for this meeting, right? And that's how you want to be able to grow yourself. You don't want to be stuck in the weeds of grinding and being in this rat race your entire life, right? So you got to start delegating to grow. So
Yeah.
that's
No,
my
I'll
that's my two
definitely
cents on
say,
that.
yeah, I'll definitely say you guys will be blown away with the level of professionalism with all of their staff. Another thing is they go through the surplus funds training. All right. So I worked with their team directly and we created an entire surplus funds curriculum. All right. So now you guys don't have to go through that hassle of actually teaching them and training them how to do calls, how to handle rebuttals. We've already taken care of that for you guys. So when you're signing up and you're choosing this company, know that they've gone through my training, they've gone through my curriculum, and they are going to be ready to hit the ground running. I mean, I've seen them as fast as the first day have a lead that is ready to go. I saw somebody on here. What is your definition of a lead? All right, so a lead in this business is going to be either the previous owner or an heir, and their cold caller has reached out, confirmed that they are either the previous owner or the heir, and then that they are interested or that that is a valid phone number and you can step in and handle that second call. Now for the private Facebook group members, you guys can go ahead and start asking your questions. If you would like, you can either raise your hand or just fire away.
I have a question. Well, first of all, let me just say thanks, Jeff, for getting on this call and kind of expanding on what you offer through the hyper service. I'm just curious, like, say I wanted to have multiple callers. I mean, at some point in my business, I am going to get to that level where I will want more than one caller. In terms of that onboarding, is that and the fees associated with that, is that something that I would need to do for every caller, or is that kind of just like a one-time thing for my company?
Yeah, once you become a member inside the community, yeah, that's pretty much gets waived for every caller. So it's just a one-time setup fee that goes directly to the team for onboarding, training, and all that. After that, we pay that out of our pocket for the rest of your hires. So it's just a one-time fee per client. So it's a great question.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Jeff,
you-
go ahead.
Do you have Spanish speaking callers?
Yep. So we're actually in about 6 different Spanish speaking countries. So we're in Mexico, Colombia, Nicaragua, Peru, Panama, and Colombia.
Thank you. That's good to know.
You're welcome. We're also in Egypt, South Africa, and Philippines.
Hey, Jeff, quick question. How do you guys manage the remote professionals benefits? How does that work? And how's that intertwined with our business?
Yeah, well, once they get benefits after a year working for us. So are you talking about like their medical benefits?
That's correct.
Yeah. So we pay all our co-callers and our team, once they hit over a year, they get full benefits, which comes with medical, vision, dental, vacation days. I mean, that's typically a package that we give to all our people that has been with us for a year.
Got it. Thanks. And the reason I asked that, I just want to know if our company will be responsible for that, or like.
No, no, that's on us.
Okay. Thank you.
So you guys don't have to pay anything other than an invoice that you get sent to you every single, I believe it's every 2 weeks. You'll get an invoice from our billing specialist. That invoice is for you to look at the approved hours, and then you basically say, yes, I approve it. We charge a card, and then that's pretty much it. So you're basically paying as a service, right? If you're just paying a regular subscription of any other company. Everything else behind that, we're paying for it. Now we do have a buyout clause, and I could tell you that about 5 people did it this year, which was basically if they really want to just say, hey, Jeff, thank you. I love my cold caller. I want to keep that person on. I'm building an entire team and managing a management team that can manage everything. And I just want to stick with that person and I want to keep that person. You can buy that the clause in the contract, and then you can have that person dedicated, but you're going to have to cover, their payroll, their, just manage everything about it. What's really good about being on the managed side is that, for instance, if that person does leave you for any reason, or if they didn't work out, you got to go through this rehiring process again. But what's good about being on a managed plan is that if that person didn't work out in our company, we simply just replace another person for no additional cost, right? So you're never going to have to be able to go out there and rehire again. We handle all of that for you.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it. One more question. I
Yep.
actually signed up for your service too. I'm just waiting for a caller to be presented to me.
Yeah.
My other question with that is there a reason why there's like a steep differential in terms of the caller and then the other, I think is service, where there's like a specific,
The hyper direct plan.
yes.
Yeah, so the hyper direct is a one-time headhunting fee. I can tell you that typical when it comes to cold callers, we staff that pretty frequently, right? We have about 12 to, let's say 20 something cold calls that go through our training class every single week. When it comes to the direct hire, that's more tailored on what you're looking for, right? So for instance, we've been doing a lot of bookkeeping jobs, right? So if you're looking for a bookkeeper, that's going to be on a direct hire plan, right? So it's a one-time 3,000, basically a little shy over $3,000. We go out there, we find you the best talent. Now that person can be anywhere between $9 an hour all the way up to $20 an hour, right? We just staffed a very high level CMO, marketing officer, for one of my clients. She's doing about 8 figures a year in business, and she was looking for a CMO. Paying $20 an hour for a CMO versus finding someone in the United States that's over $200, right, is a big difference in cost savings for her, right? So we found that person, but it took us about 3 weeks of going through, shifting, testing, making sure we found the right person. So that's a little different because that hire is hired onto their company versus us managing that person.
Appreciate it, Jeff.
You're welcome.
Jeff, really quickly, somebody asked, are they equipped to do calling for other services and real estate or creative finance, wholesale,
Yep.
retail, etc.?
Everything. So we have, I could just tell you, we have people in the storage facility space, multifamily space. Our top cold callers are wholesalers. So I could tell you, the metrics on wholesalers, right? We do about 350 to 450 calls per day. They're generating about 3 to 5 qualified leads. Qualified leads means that person said, I want to get an offer on my property, right? They go through our 4 pillars of motivation, right? How quickly they're looking to sell, how much work the property needs, get an asking price, and urgency and motivation, right? So once we get those, that's considered a lead. We send that over to their acquisition specialist, and they end up closing those sales. We're getting about 3 to 5 qualified leads per day per cold caller. And we're seeing industry standard about 22 to 30 leads that converts into an actual deal. So based on that, you can kind of scale your company on those metrics, but we're in different areas. I mean, we do have partnered up, kind of like you, Eric, with another company that is strictly creative finance, right? So they're about to roll basically the same thing for creative financing. So yeah, we can pretty much staff for any type of anything in real estate.
Awesome. Jordan, you can go ahead and ask your question now.
I have a question to piggyback off what you were saying about benefits for your staffing, for callers. As far as what taxes look like on our end, if we were to utilize your service, are we just like writing off your service as like a third party like service for our taxes,
Yep.
or are we keeping up with taxes on like employee taxing?
Yeah, so I would say consult with your CPA on that. I'm not a CPA, that's my disclosure. But I can tell you how majority of the clients that we that are part of our company use our company is just a standard service, right? It's just like if you were paying, Zoom to use Zoom or a software. So you can classify it as a service. You don't have to pay any type of employee taxes or anything like that. That's something that we do on our side for our business. So that's not put onto your company.
Right on. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Jeff, it's Talaman. I have one more question. You had mentioned earlier in terms of a bonus. So for example, if my caller or callers are performing phenomenally and I feel like I want to give everyone a bonus, do I have any limitations or do I have full latitude to decide how much I want that bonus
That
to be?
is 100% on you, and that goes 100% on them. So we take $0 out of that. So what we do is basically you tell us what you tell your success coach, your dedicated success coach, on how much bonus you want to give them. They will then give you an invoice for that. You pay the invoice and we pay them that bonus. So I could tell you majority of our clients give bonuses out to their co-callers that are crushing it, right? If they're producing and they're giving you $10,000, $20,000 checks, this just incentivizes them. But what's really cool about, you guys are doing that, that's awesome. We do this on our side as well. So out of the 450 plus cold callers that we have competitions. So we do one every single month. We host our monthly rewards and recognitions. Okay, so we reward our top performers, people that have never missed a day, that has perfect attendance, people that have been crushing it for our clients, right? We reward them, so they get bonuses, they get gifts, they get all these kind of things every single month. And we have competitions between our co-callers, right? So we're on our company, we're doing it as well, but it's really good when it comes from the client, right? When they say, well, they call you boss, right? They're like, man, my boss just gave me a check, right? So they look at that like amazing when they see it from one of their clients that they're working for. So yeah, there's no limitation. If you want to give $100, $50, $20, whatever, it goes right onto their check.
Yeah, and one thing really quickly, Shannon asked if you guys are providing leads or are they equipped to use the tools? So with the surplus funds curriculum that they go through, they are fully trained to use XPLS Pro and Access Elite. So if you guys are using those platforms, they are very familiar with that CRM. That's actually the auto dialer that they use, and they know how to manage XPLS Pro. But if you want to provide leads, Jeff, you guys use a different auto dialer for clients who don't have Access Elite, right? You guys use I can't remember.
Yeah,
which
we
auto
use Ready Mode.
Ready Mode. Okay.
Yep. Ready Mode used to be called ZenCall.
Mhm.
But they're fully trained on Ready Mode, Call Tools, Mojo, Batch Dialer.
Yeah.
And the system you're using. But I can tell you that they're versatile in pretty much a lot of the dialers out there. So yeah. I know I see some other questions. Are there bonuses taxed? No. So I mean, we don't tax their bonuses. Whatever they get, they get. So how do we coordinate? Go ahead.
Hi, Jeff. I'd like to thank you for all the information. I just wanted to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Is there a minimum amount of hours that the callers are required to have per week?
Yeah, so 40 hours a week. That's typical. So they're all full time. So they're gonna do a full shift. The shift depends on your hours operations. They're very flexible. So if you're, 9 to 5, 10 to 7, whatever it is, they're gonna work in those hours. It doesn't matter if you're Eastern Standard Time, Central, whatever time zone you're in, we make sure we find, and that's the reason why we have that discovery call, because we need to find out your hours of operation and what time zone you're in, so we can make sure we match you with the right person. We're not going to give you someone that's not is going to fall asleep and at night because you're during the day and they're at night and they're passing out. So we make sure it's the right fit. So yeah, it's standard 40 hours.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know at the moment. I could, we don't really offer part-time. And the reason why I'm gonna break this down for you guys, and I'm gonna tell you the reason why. It's not gonna do you justice at all. You might see it as maybe saving some money or something, but it's really because me being in this industry for so long, when I started my journey in 2014 in real estate and hiring tons of VAs to find the right ones, I could tell you that I started off my 9 to 5 job and I found me a part-time person. And I could tell you that it was a struggle because part-time VAs typically want to supplement the other side, right? So they're not going to be fully committed to your company. They're going to find some other job to supplement that because they're usually family-oriented people. They need cash to be able to feed their families, right? So if you're only giving them half the pay, they're going to get the other half somewhere else. They're workaholics. And what that does is really hurts your business because they're not going to give you your full attention, right? And I want to see them giving your full attention because they're going to make sure your company succeeds, right? And that's why we only hire full-time people in our company. Does that
And
make sense?
also- Yeah.
Yes,
also-
it does. Thank you.
When
You're
you
welcome.
guys have a full-time caller in this business, we do understand that this is a numbers game, so the more hours that they're putting in, the more potential leads that you can close. So if you guys do look at this more as an investment and an opportunity to contact many leads, you will actually have success. We just saw that foreclosures are on the uprise. All right. So this year they are up year to date compared to last year. And as we know, that means more opportunities for us to do surplus funds. More foreclosures means more properties are going to sell. So if you guys are on top of it, you can have your caller contacting many leads. If you just do part-time, yeah, it could work out, things like that. But if you're going to take this business serious and you want to actually have, results where you're closing multiple deals, you'll do well. I mean, if you guys are just closing just one deal per week and you're making an average commission of 5,000, that's over $250,000 a year. And that's just one deal a week. So if they're contacting hundreds of leads each day, you should be able to close one deal a week. And for those of you who are on the Killer Closer Bootcamp that we did past last weekend, you guys already know closing now is very simple. And then for those who are in the private Facebook group, we do practicing all the time. So you guys, by using this service, you're now going to actually be able to showcase your abilities. And you guys are good at communicating and talking to these individuals. And also, most importantly, it provides a hierarchy to your business. All right. You have your cold caller, which is essentially just, like a specialist, somebody who is just initially reaching out. Then you have yourself. You are the director of asset recovery. You have a hierarchy. You guys have a team of attorneys. Now you look professional. You look legitimate. You're not just one person doing everything, holding all the hats in your business. You're not drained doing research. You're not drained doing cold calls. You're not drained closing, following up. With this service, you guys will be able to outsource and scale your business and run it properly, the correct way. All right, so let's go ahead and go over other questions I see on YouTube. Let me just run over the YouTube questions Can my VA handle different business calls leads for different industries if you just hire them specifically for this?
Well, so you're saying if you didn't hire a cold caller, you just hired a standard like VA, like on our direct plan?
Adam Lucas, yeah, he said that. I think he's saying like if you hire it for surplus funds, are they able to switch and call other industries as well? Some people do like wholesaling as well.
Got it. No, so I would not do that.
Mhm.
Again, I'm gonna tell you why, right? You're mixing, when you mix two different types of products inside of one cold caller, eventually they can get lost. And even if your companies are mixed, like say, for instance, if I have a software company and I have, yeah, they can do it, but it's not gonna be the right thing to do, period. Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
It doesn't make sense.
I mean,
Somebody
yeah, it
asked,
just wouldn't make sense. I would hire two cold callers, one for
Yeah.
dedicated for this and one
Mhm.
dedicated for that. I mean, it's not efficient at
Mhm.
all.
Yeah,
You know?
somebody asked a question. They said, since we are supplying data to your company, does your company have the rights to use our data as well for your real estate company?
I don't have a real estate company, and I'm gonna tell you why, just for that reason, right? I sold my real estate company in 2021. I got out of real estate 100%, and I'm 100% focused only on staffing and software. And that is the reason why, because and I won't say anything bad about other companies, but there's companies that are shady like that. So our
Mhm.
privacy protection, our service plans, we do not touch your data. That is strictly only for you. We don't sell your data. We don't touch your data. And it's another reason why we also tell you to provide your dialer, right? We don't want to have access to your data. Okay. We can help you upload your data into your dialer, and that's pretty much it.
Mhm. And then, of course, the calls are recorded, guys, and that is for quality assurance and for you as well. So if you have a cold caller that spoke to a client, you obviously want to listen to exactly how that call went before you actually go in and speak to your verified lead. Now let's go ahead and go over, I believe that's all the questions from YouTube. Anybody else in the Facebook group, let's go ahead and if you guys have any other questions, go over those.
Yeah, utilizing a service like XPLS Pro, so they would be fully equipped to go ahead and just like take the reins on that lead source and just start calling. I would just have to provide for the dialer. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, the curriculum, they go through XPLS Pro and also Access Elite. So this, I mean, to be honest, XPLS Pro, if you guys are using XPLS Pro, this is probably you're gonna be, I don't even want to put numbers out there, but you're gonna be closing deals at a very high rate. And it's simply because we understand that XPLS Pro is going to find the notary for you, pay for the notary, submit the documents, provide the attorneys, and handle the entire claim. So if you have your cold caller that is initially calling them, all you're doing is stepping in, you're going over the foreclosure. Okay, I see here you owed this much on your property, it's sold for this much. This is the potential surplus. Our next steps is to set up the notary. They can either come out to your address or we can meet at a local Starbucks. And for those of you who are in the Facebook group, I'm going to share with you a few recordings. I close in less than 5 minutes. I call them, explain the process, get the notary, boom, we send it off. Everything is done. This is a very simple way to amplify your surplus funds business. If you have XPLS Pro, I definitely recommend using them. You're going to see a huge uptick on the amount of leads in your pipeline.
Yeah, I could tell you, man. I'm glad you don't throw the numbers out there, but I've I've seen some of like our clients, like I severally say 3 to 5 leads, but I've literally had clients reach out to me and say, yo, Jeff, bro, I got like 12, 15 leads. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, they're killing it right now. I don't know what's going on. And they're crushing it. and I'm just like blown away. But on an average, I always tell them, when it comes to wholesaling, this is what you're doing is completely different. But I'm just blown away by the talent and pieces together, right? Having the language coach, having the entire ecosystem behind their back. And another cool thing is that we have what's called I don't know why I just got a brain fart on here, but basically we have a rebuttal system, right? So the rebuttal system is pretty cool. We look at all the cold callers that we have, and they all have access to this one cold calling script as well as our rebuttals, right? So, it's called active rebuttaling, right? So our active rebuttaling basically every time cold caller has a rebuttal that they never encountered before, it gets added to that active rebuttal list. And so
Mhm.
all the cold callers will now have access to that list. So they know how to come back very quickly with different answers when they don't have the answer, right? It's right there on the list. They can just go to it, click on the button, and it's like, what is this? Oh, okay, perfect. Let me know how to answer this perfectly, right? So these are like little game changers that a lot of people don't see that we take time to really dive into. So just want to share that.
Yeah, which is great because they already have, when they go through the surplus funds curriculum, they already go over the standard rebuttals in this business. How did you get my information? Why didn't the county just tell me? This sounds like a scam. You guys know all the typical rebuttals in the surplus funds industry. They are prepared to handle that. But like Jeff said, if a new rebuttal comes that I've never encountered, I would love to see it. But they do have the ability to get that. We had somebody that mentioned XPLS numbers are okay, not always there. That's another reason why you should have a cold caller instead of you spending all the time making the dials. It's skip tracing, guys. When you perform skip tracing, it's going to bring back maybe 5 to 6 numbers. We don't know which one is accurate. Obviously, not all 5 numbers are accurate. And obviously, there's no 100% accurate skip tracing. Now, if there was, this business, everybody would be millionaires because you'd see who's owed money, you'd have the correct phone number, and then now you just call them and everything is good. This is exactly why you should have a cold caller, because they're going to be able to effectively manage your time and increase your deals. All right, so we have about 5 minutes left, guys. If there's any other questions, go ahead and fire away, please.
All right, Eric, you said, hey Jeff, do some of your VAs know other languages, Spanish, French, Chinese? I would say yes. And the reason why I say yes is obviously we do source in 9 different countries. About 6 of them are Spanish speaking countries. So yeah, they are bilingual. There's an upcharge for bilingual. It's $1 upcharge for bilingual speaking. But you could just get with your dedicated recruiter and you're on that discovery call, just let them know. But there we do source for that. So we've had people ask for several different languages. And the reason why we do a tailored recruiting is because we want to make sure in that tailored recruitment exactly what you're looking for, and we go out there and find it, right? If you're looking for someone to speak Chinese and English, we're going to go out there and find that person. If we're looking for someone to speak French and English, we're going to go out there and find that person. Spanish speaking is pretty easy for us because we have Spanish recruiters on our team. So we already tackled that. But for French and Chinese, it might take a little bit longer, but we can definitely do it. You're welcome. You're welcome. Anything else? Any other questions?
Hi, Jeff. I just wanted to know, can you run us through, like, I guess, a typical call with your VA, the process that they would go down, like they give the person on the call. Once the person agrees, then what are the next steps? Do they turn them over to us, or how does that go?
Yeah, well, I would say it's different for every business. Eric probably will give you a better answer on that.
Yeah.
For
So,
yeah.
yeah, the way that it works is they are provided with the lead. So they see who they're communicating with, whether this is the previous owner or the heir. They see the property address. They see the date of the sale, they see how much was owed, they see what it sold for, and they see the surplus. They have the training to go through the 4 pillars of a call, just like I train you guys. We have the introduction, we have the education, the reason why we're calling, we have how we can help, and then we have the close. So in the introduction, they're going to state who they are, they're representing your company, and then in the education, they're just pretty much informing them that their property sold on this date, it sold for a higher amount, and then they're getting into how they can help, letting them know that, you know, we work directly with the county, we have a team of attorneys, we don't charge any upfront fees, and they're looking to get that email to send over proof. These callers are not closing on the first call, and neither should you. I train you guys on that all the time. When you're doing a cold call and surplus funds, these people have no idea what in the world you're talking about. They honestly think that you're lying and it's a scam. So the reason why they're pulling that email is so that you can send the introductory email, and it's going to outline exactly what happened. We're going to provide proof, and then you're going to be able to easily close on your second call. So they do a great job. You know, they get the email, and even if they don't get the email, at least they communicate with a verified lead. Like, let's say they call somebody, they have the correct phone number, and that person just so happened didn't want to share their email. You're still going to get a report, and now you can step in. You can say, hey, you spoke to my representative. I understand that, you know, this is new information for you. Let me go ahead and break it down exactly how it works. And then you're able to close. I've closed many deals like that, guys. And this is why it is crucial to have that, because having a verified lead is the most important thing in this business. We can get leads all day. As you know, surplus funds are public information, but a verified lead, that is something that requires work.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Really quickly, Sean, if we have Access Elite, do we add the caller as a staff member with Access Elite for them to use the auto dialer? Yes, so they'll be added to your CRM. They'll have a login, and you only need one phone number. If you want multiple phone numbers, you can, but they'll be able to utilize that. All right, guys. So Jeff, man, thank you so much. Guys, I'm just letting you know, if you take advantage of this, you are in great hands. I met Jeff at a networking event, and once I heard exactly what he does, I was like, this is the opportunity that I need to provide to my students. I was thinking about, you know, starting my own company, but it was a lot. It was going to be very difficult. So I'm glad that I partnered with your company. Very professional, guys. I'm telling you, very, very professional. His entire staff, the fact that you have 8 members working with your one cold caller and ensuring that you're getting results is absolutely amazing. So guys, let's go ahead and thank Jeff. And if you guys have any questions, you can reach out to me as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, guys. It's been a pleasure. Really great questions. Honestly, really great question. I love the everyone actually participating. Most of the time I'm on these calls and no one says one word. So Eric, you did a great job of creating a great community here. And so that's really powerful. Yeah. So reach out to Eric. You guys have the link. Hope to see you as a client. Our team will take care of you, and ready to crush it.
Yes, perfect. Everybody on YouTube and in the Facebook group said thank you.